mediterer eller droom dessutom med absorbmärkens inget måste med styrfett. Det är styrfett. Offsnäts inget styrfett. Men det är inte måste kväll. Fyrstillust.
Well, well, well. After the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2, it looks like there's a brand new Mario Kart on the horizon. It's been 3,000 years! You know what time it is, folks. It's green screen prediction season, and I thought I'd go ahead and throw my hat in the ring while I still can. Now before we get into this, it should be noted that everything I say in this video is just my personal opinion. That should probably go without saying, but whatever. Without any further ado, let's jump right into my predictions for Mario Kart 9, or X, or Crossworlds, or Federation Force, I don't give a fuck. Firstly, let's lay down some ground rules. There is to be no repeating track beams. Gotta keep it interesting. There is to be one track from each game per cup. A standard rule for every Mario Kart, and I don't see a reason to break it. As tempting as it might be, no Mario Kart 8 Deluxe retros. We've seen them before and we don't need to see them again. And most importantly, just make the tracks make sense. Got that? Alright, Shell Cup time. We begin with GCN Luigi Circuit. If the game allows for multiple lap paths like in the Booster Course Pass, then this track would be a perfect fit for the next Mario Kart. It would make complete sense to bring back a track whose whole gimmick is having one road for multiple racers to drive on. 24 at that, holy crap! Now for a less interesting pick, we have our obligatory SNES track. It was particularly slim pickings for this one. Seriously, I stared at this track selection for hours. Regardless, I went with Koopa Beach 1. It's a beach, it's a circle, and it sure is Shell Cup material, so it makes the cut. I know this isn't the most interesting thing in the world, but come on, look at what we're picking from. The following track will be our first DS course, the ever-popular Luigi's Mansion. You drive inside of, well, Luigi's Mansion, as well as Luigi's Graveyard and this awfully long mud section with the spooky trees. People online have been clamoring for this track to come back for years, and I can't help but agree, we need it back. But something I'm reaching for even more would be 3DS Woohoo Loop. It's one big loop around the island that could make for a fantastic finale to the Shell Cup, which is why I'm putting it here. I feel like I don't even need to describe my reasons for putting it here, just look at it. Please Nintendo, I just want to see my baby again. Now that that's done, we can move on to the Banana Cup. The cup where the player is sort of graduating from the baby time stages. Obviously we can't get too complex yet, as we start off with 3DS Mario Circuit. Realistically, any Mario Circuit could take this one's place, but in the end, I decided on this one simply because you can go inside the castle. Immaculate. Next is our first Wii U track, or Switch track? Mario Kart 8 is highly regarded as one of the best games in the franchise, so obviously Nintendo recognizes that and is going to want to put some of that game's tracks into the new one. My pick for the Banana Cup will be Shy Guy Falls. One of the coolest courses in the game since you can drive up and down waterfalls. I would love to see this one return. Up next, and probably the biggest stub of the Booster Course Pass thus far, it's the one, the only, Toad's Factory. An amazing track in Mario Kart Wii, and I'd say it's long overdue for a remake. The theming is the best it's ever been, and the music is an absolute bop. An easy inclusion if I do say so myself. Ending off the Banana Cup, we have probably my most controversial choice in this video, Wario Stadium from Mario Kart 64. This is the only N64 track to never return in any capacity, and it's easy to see why. This track is infamous for being super long for no good reason, but I think it's time they finally shatter the ice and bring this track back. It was more late game in 64, but I don't actually find this track that difficult, so it's our banana ender in this game. Onto our Leaf Cup, this is typically where the tracks start to get more interesting and, more importantly, harder. Starting off, we have GBA Sunset Wilds, and I know, I said no Mario Kart 8 retros, but I'm gonna make one exception for this rule. Sunset was just done so dirty in the Booster Course Pass. I need to see it return in its former glory with this next game, and I think you do too. Following that, we have Baby Park from Double Dash. Now before you get mad at me for breaking the rule again, I can't lie. This one's purely here because I need to see 24-player matches on this map. It would be very, very funny. The Leaf Cup's penultimate track will be our first BCP original, Yoshi's Island. A wonderful track referencing the game of the same name. I'm surprised they don't do more reference tracks to begin with. I struggled between this and Squeaky Clean Sprint, but in the end, I decided to go with this because I thought it would be more fitting in its placement. I mean, we can't just have a big track like that come before the last track, Waluigi Pinball. I mean, what else can I say? It's Waluigi freaking Pinball. This track deserves to be in every Mario Kart game to come. It's that good. Last but not least, we have the Lightning Cup, which is where all the skill-based white-knuckle courses lie for only the toughest players to trudge through. Let's do this. Starting off our final romp, we have Koopa Cape. I'm sorry, but we just desperately need a remake of that course. I can't stand that remake in the BCP. It just has to come back. It just has to. The second Lightning Cup track will be none other than the legendary Mount Wario. This one is practically a steal for the next game. Like, I couldn't think of a more priority retro than this. It is absolutely deserving of a remake, and I will be very sad if it doesn't happen. Second to last is the even bigger snub from the BCP, Airship Fortress. I will go insane if this doesn't come back to any capacity. It's been robbed of a slot for too long, and we need it back immediately. Please, I will actually cry if it doesn't come back. I will... And finally, the big question. Which Rainbow Road will make it in? Super Circuit, Double Dash, or DS? While all three of these are really good picks, come on, the choice is obvious. It's DS Rainbow Road. Not to discredit the others, but this one is just perfect. We want DS Rainbow Road, Nintendo. Listen to the people. Now, just a few bonuses or honorable mentions, here are a few hypothetical DLC picks as well. GCN Wario Coliseum, a brutal 2-lap cage match track that would be an absolute waste not to bring back. Big Blue, not much to say here, it's Big Blue, it speaks for itself. Coconut Mall. Everyone loves Coconut Mall, and I think Nintendo does too. I'm sure they'd want to bring this back in some capacity. 3DS Shy Guy Bazaar. A really cool desert track because it takes place in an Arabian Nights setting. N64 DK's Jungle Parkway. Because why the hell not, right? GBA Sky Garden. Same logic as Sunset Wilds. I need to see this one remastered. And lastly, Dragon Driftway, because dragons are awesome. And that concludes my retro predictions. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Now, on to the characters. Mario Kart's character rosters have never really been a super big priority, mostly because all their energy is put into the tracks, but for this game, I want them to go all out with the character roster, pulling out all the stops and giving us tons of options. Every character that was in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is back in. I'd say that's a pretty safe assumption. And you know what? While they're at it, bring back every past Mario Kart character into this one game. I don't see why not. The more the merrier, am I right? That includes characters to the likes of Donkey Kong Jr., Paratroopa, Rob, Honey Queen, so on and so forth. I also think all these characters could receive a bunch of different alternate costumes that could change up their looks while giving you the same character with the same stats. It would also clean up the roster of any clones. Even if those clones had weight differences in the past, make them all the same. We don't care. Some necessity costumes should be Toad colors, with a pit crew Toad for every color, bus driver Waluigi, Dr. Mario, the original King Boo, and Gold Koopa freerunning. I'm hoping to get some new vaults too, ones that didn't appear in Tour, like imagine Biker Wario or Willy Yoshi or Toon Link. We haven't even gotten to the possibilities of new characters yet, and that's because there's just so many. We can of course get some of the standard side characters like Aluma, a Goomba, Spike, Pianta, Cappy, Pom Pom, and perhaps we could get some deep cuts like Professor Egad, the Brutals, Plessy, Lubba, Toadsworth, and who could forget Foreman Spike. It'd be neat if we could get some spin-off characters in there too. Of course, everyone and their mother has just been begging to have Gino playable, and have Mallow as a driver while you're at it. I think we also need Fawful because Fawful's cool, and also Ashley from WarioWare. Might as well if we're including Wario's biker outfit. Captain Syrup, I don't know who that is, but she sounds cool. And Paper Mario, of course, Paper Mario. Maybe we can get a whole paper theme track for him, or even like bring back GBA Rainbow Road for DLC and like make the whole stage paper themed since Paper Mario's Bowser's Castle is there. Oh, it'd be so cool. Maybe along with returning crossover characters, we get new ones from their franchises like Zelda and Tom Nook. The Octolings, and why don't they add freaking Captain Falcon already? And hey, why don't they add in other Nintendo IPs too? Like Kirby is an obvious pick. He was in Kirby Air Ride, so I think that's enough for him to get in. And what if we got Samus or Star Fox as well? I've never played any of those games, of course, but I'm open to their inclusion. Throw in Olimar as well. Maybe he gets a special item where he like throws Pikmin onto the other drivers, and oh yeah, this is special items. We need all of the special items to return. Just imagine we got one special item for every single character, and every single character has like a special cart that you can unlock with the coin shop or mission mode. Yeah, mission mode. And you gotta do missions like in DS. Honestly, they just gotta make it like DS again. You know? They gotta make it like DS again. And give us back missions and emblem creator. Actually, wait, no, scratch that. What if we got, instead of mission mode, there was an adventure mode? Yes, an adventure mode, like Diddy Kong Racing. And they had a glowing thing. We make it a mission, and you have to do objectives. Winning a race and collect coins, yes. And Diddy Kong Racing, you can beat bosses. And the boss battles, make it an adventure, and we can make, and we can
A week has passed. We saw with our own eyes that
you unlock a.
That's right, we finally got Mario Kart 9, which is really the big new announcement of this presentation.
Imagine if you're always in a cart with Mario Kart,
mix cups.
and you had to like
the mix
decide
cups
this next one was
Mario
a good idea, but I'm throwing it out.
You got a new track called Kamek's Library.
You
race in the library. You race in the library.
updates giving us more costumes. You gotta do little missions for them each week or something.
GBA Rainbow Road. They
I
could
want
do so
elevation
much for
changes,
GBA
I
Rainbow
want
Road.
anti-grav, I want whatever this game's gimmick is going to be.
Man, I'm
You could do
praying
so
that this
much.
actually happens with this Mario Kart because I feel like
Like
that's one
Donkey
of the
Kong,
weakest things
a
from
whole new
Mario
Donkey
Kart.
Kong.
It's the single
You
player
get
content.
Dixie
You give
Kong,
the players
Cranky
something
Kong,
to do outside
Kincaid
of online and multiplayer functions,
the whole
and racing
Kong
computers for
Kong.
cups. I think this
And
would
then
be
you
a great
get we need retro tracks in here. They're not just gonna stop. They can't just stop retro tracks. They can't. They can't do.
Theme of this
They're
cup
gonna
is
like
just to
a
put as many
new
fan
stage,
favorites
a
in.
new
It's so
crossover
popular
stage.
that I would
Sonic,
love to see it get a
Green
true
Hill
launch.
Zone. You got a new track called Green Hill Zone, and Sonic is in it, and all of Sonic's friends are in it. I know there's a whole other Sonic game coming out, but surely they can set their tight aside. Yeah? It's just, come on, bear with me. I want more reference tracks. I want more reference tracks. I need to see the
more characters from outside franchises than Delfino Plaza, but more along the lines of Delfino Square.
And the takeout bags. The takeout bags are also special items could also be missions and missions.
It's got immaculate
I
speed.
know this sounds insane. Actually, Nintendo was asked about this for Mario Kart.
Wait, let's get a Mario
And they
Odyssey.
actually said that
Mario
they
Kart
don't see it
Maker.
happening right now.
This is like a little bonus.
This isn't too spectacular, but it adds some
They didn't
variety
make it
and
into a fully fledged game.
This isn't too spectacular, but
Testing
it
out
adds
the
some
water.
variety.
This
It
one,
is
it
fixed
could be
by occasionally removing them from this game, which I don't agree with, or just changing how they work.
Let's
And
make it
now starting off
day-to-day.
as
This game was done so dirty in
And
the Mario Kart.
Some of the characters like Bowser and
Waters
Peach
give us a
and but
very
even Mario and Luigi
path
is
to like
scary.
a
They're just
couple
staring
background
into nothing.
track
Like, I hate to
options.
say it, but it almost reminded me of a bit of AI art. And I know that it's not, but it still feels a bit
stage builder.
somehow
Having back
clean the
to
cars
tracks
in
like
parts.
trips.
Also, it's
What did I do it?
thumbnail all day, I don't like it.
None of my
It's not exactly personally, I never played it.
not that
They just
matter.
it's hard to take seriously compared to these
Any of this
not to dispute like small boys like that's why we use TV now, but for this game specifically,
I'm just puppet.
his
I'm just
currently
a
at the
puppet.
same
I
going
can't think for myself.
Granted,
Active and the
the
original
art style is
title,
probably
I
the thing I'm
No, I have first.
even if the gameplay mechanics are I'm fairly sure that the art style
I think
will
it should
grow.
make it bigger.
Constant, endless hunger.
As they made the fairly
All we do
but
is
again,
consume, consume, consume.
and I think
And you are feeding the bottomless pit. There's no personality anymore because of you. There's only content. Everything has just been content.
and even then, I'm not.
I'm fully willing to believe there's never a personality to begin with. Ever since monetization came, bottom line has been money to take advantage of your viewer base and make money. If you're not doing it for money, then what's the point? Engagement? Pathetic.
I'm really
And you're the first to jump to conclusions when anyone moves mistrustfully, the saints, the neon saints, when do you engage about anything that doesn't benefit you? Everything is about you! You don't give a shit! The only shits you're taking is the shits you're dumping in this shitty fucking system! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Every day, every time something happens, I'm repulsed by it 1% more than I was yesterday. You may look at me as but a man studying for the Olympics. Better than absurd, as a naive adolescent, contrarian in nature. However, I can't think of a system more toxic than an endless, unstoppable hate cycle that benefits the worst people, hurts the innocent, and deteriorates the minds of everyone involved in it. No exceptions. I hate